Fury has been specialising in custom-built boats since 1999. They only offer three models: a centre console, a sports cab, and the boat we have behind us today, a dual console. They're all 28-footers, hand-built and impeccably finished. The 282 dual console, which in effect is a big bow rider, is a unique design aimed at people looking for a boat to use for fishing, entertaining and weekends away. There's no doubt the bow rider design is extremely popular in Australia at the moment, and this is a bow rider. Like all other bow riders, there's a nice comfortable lounge up here. It'll seat about 6, and you can also fit a table. But where it differs is that it's cut off from the rest of the boat. There's a distinct line between the helm and the bow rider area. It's also where you would sleep if you were going to stay here for the weekend. Where I'm sitting now, there's a large infill that turns this into a really comfortable double bed. And for protection and a bit of privacy, you simply clip over a canvas cover. It's a process that takes about 5 minutes. You'll see that there's a couple of openings also in the cover that allow some ventilation through on those hot nights, and importantly, gives you access to the anchor just in case you need to at night. But for those colder nights, or those times when you want a little bit more privacy, it's as simple as unclipping here, zipping up and going to bed. When it is time for bed, how snug is this? Beautiful. If you do want to do a spot of fishing, it's as simple as removing one of these cushions, putting it inside, and you've got a really nice little casting platform with a non-slip floor as well. And just in case you needed a bit more storage space, we've got even more in here. Unbelievable. The Helm Area on the 282 DC is split into two distinct areas by the passageway that runs all the way to the bow. On the starboard side, we've got a drive station, and I've got to say it's one of the best equipped drive stations I've seen for a while. You've got two massive Simrad NSS multifunction display screens here. You've got all of the switch gear. Over on this side, we've got the controls for the windlass, also the bow thruster. Just underneath, we've got the electronic trim tabs. Then we've got the Yamaha electronic gauges, and on this side over here we have the Fusion audio system. And it's not only the electronics that are impressive. Have a look at this. We've got an adjustable steering wheel, so you can get your right driving position no matter what size you are. The other thing I really like is this seat. It looks like an ordinary seat sitting on a storage box, but it's got a bolster so that you can step in here and you can stand up to drive equally comfortably as you can sit down. And for those who do prefer to sit down, it's adjustable. It's just a matter of pushing in here and sliding it into the position that you want. And for the slightly shorter drivers, there's this. How good is this? Just gives you a little bit of extra height for those who need it. The setup on the passenger side is almost the same, except there's no bolster. But you can still slide the seat forward if you want to get a bit closer to the footrest down here. And the well-placed drink holders. But the big surprise on this side of the boat is this door. And what it does is it opens up into a single bedroom. It may look quite snug in here, but I actually fit quite comfortably. I don't think I'd have any trouble having a sleep in here. For those of you who don't fancy the thought of sleeping in here, it also makes a fantastic dry storage area, or even a really nice little change room. I can stand up in here, even if I am a little hunched. Certainly enough to be able to get changed. While we have a bedroom on the port side of the boat, over here on the starboard side, we have a well-concealed, private and surprisingly roomy toilet. If you do need extra seating, there are cleverly designed drop-down seats at the back of both the passenger and the helm seats. It's just a matter of pushing the clip, dropping it down, and there you go. For those people who are going to use the boat more on weekends, you can option a galley in this side here. You get a sink, a fridge and a little gas stove. The 282 DC may have been designed as an all-rounder, but the cockpit area is definitely set up for fishing. There's storage everywhere you look. There's two kill tanks in the floor, one of them is plumbed, and there's a live bait tank back here in the transom. That's also plumbed. It also comes standard with an electric winch over here and a davit that you can see here that can be used to pull craypots or even for hauling a small inflatable up onto the cockpit here. It will hold an inflatable that is 2.5 metres long. On the transom here we have another small sink with some taps, hot and cold water, and we've even got some fittings here so you can fit a bait board or a barbecue. Then we have a transom door that takes you out onto a massive swim board, which gives you easy access to the water on the port or starboard side despite having the twin motors, with a ladder here on the starboard side of the boat. For extra protection from the sun, there's this extension Bimini that comes off this massive hardtop that not only keeps the helm area shaded, but dry as well. The conditions are ideal today. There's only a small swell and even a smaller chop running. But what swell there is, the 282 dual console is slicing through it like it's not there. The test boat is fitted with twin 225 horsepower Yamaha 4-stroke outboards, giving the 282 an impressive maximum speed of 45 knots. In these conditions, this boat sits beautifully and flat with no sideways movement and certainly no bumping or crashing. And there's only a very occasional bit of spray hitting the windscreen. The boat does feel heavy in the water, but it's surprisingly nimble and very responsive to any input on the controls. And when turning, it leans in and grabs nicely without any slippage or loss of composure. Fury custom boats are positioned at the top end of the market, and after spending a day in the 282 dual console, it's not hard to see why. This is a boat that's equally well set up for fishing and entertaining. And if you do want to spend the night on the boat, the addition of a canvas cover and a cushion infill turns the bow into a secure and comfortable double bed.